I'm the guy here to make sure when you meet your maker and are judged, you will not be able to say, well, I didn't know.
Hello, you beautiful bastards. I'm the Triggered Limey, and thank you for joining me today. As you just saw, today's trigger is Daniel Pratt. So let's hear what this pillock's got to say today.
Okay, sorry to all the multitude of alternative media ignoring and gatekeeping the truth of our created Earth.
As we all know, Daniel's idea of the truth is that the Earth is flat and that it was created by the God of the Christian faith. Now, as many of you know, I'm an agnostic. I do not believe that there is any proof of God, nor do I believe that there is anything to show that one or more gods do not exist. However, I lean more towards there not being a God, again, because of the lack of evidence. And it's the same logic that stops me believing in the flat Earth. There is no evidence of it. In fact, from my own observations and calculations, I've shown that the Earth is very clearly spherical. On that side note, this summer I will be joining some members from this community so that we can perform the Bedford level experiment. So make sure that you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you aren't already, so that you'll be able to see my coverage of this. Anyway, back to Dan, who is still unable to demonstrate his version of reality.
I'm the guy here to make sure when you meet your maker and are judged, you will not be able to say, well, I didn't know. I wasn't warned. Nobody told me.
I do agree that lots of you idiots have told us. Of course, you've never proven it, nor are you able to, because it's not our reality. Every flat earth proof gets easily debunked. Every single time. Plus, I've never even seen any of you try and repeat the experiments or observations that demonstrate the globe. You'd think you'd give those a go to see if you could debunk them. Now, I know it's most likely because you tosspots just don't understand any of this, hence why you're so easily convinced that the earth is flat, but come on now. Stop being the creepy prick that makes ridiculous claims from his garage and get out there and test your theory.
He knows. He knows you know. And because you're spineless and are worried about what all the devolved monkeys will think of you, you're cowardly in ignoring and gatekeeping the truth.
I beg to differ. I don't think there's anything cowardly about science. We're actually happy to be proven wrong because in the process of this, we advance our understanding of the world around us. But the key word here is proof, something that you bellends have not been able to provide. Now, I know that we shouldn't use the word proof as science doesn't really prove things. Instead, we use it to find the best possible explanation given what the evidence points to along our current level of understanding. This is why many people used to think the Earth was flat way back when. They lacked the knowledge and tools to know any better. But eventually, hundreds of years ago now, they were able to work it out. So what's your fucking excuse, Dan?
The truth that transcends, once again, all of their Hegelian dialectic, conflict-creating, nonsense, propaganda, fear tactics, and terrorist attacks.
Terrorist attacks? You're off your bloody rocker, sunshine. And what's this Hegelian dialectic bit? Are you looking up fancy words to try and get your followers to trust you more? This does seem to be a tactic of many flat earthers. Shame they don't usually understand what they're talking about. Dan's most likely using Hegelian here as that refers to the philosophy of G.W.F. Hegel, which would kind of make the globe seem more like a concept. But then what would be my guess is that he threw in dialectic because it's another fancy sounding word that often comes up when discussing Hegel. The problem though is that dialectics are a good thing for the globe side. A dialectic is basically a discussion by people holding opposing views on a subject such as the shape of the earth, for example. But the key factor is that the goal is to establish the truth through reasoned arguments. This is where it definitely fits us more than flat earthers, because flat earthers, despite what they say, do not wish to establish the truth. They go into every single discussion having already decided that the earth is flat, and despite the massive amounts of evidence to the contrary that we can show them, they very rarely change their minds.
You are as big a part of the problem as they are.
I would argue that your lack of understanding is the big problem, Danny boy. Seriously, just go out there and perform some proper experiments, for fuck's sake.
And you better grow a spine and start speaking the truth of where we really live.
We do, mate. You're just too much of an arrogant, ignorant wanker to listen.
Not because I'll do anything to you. I couldn't do anything to you compared to what he'll do to you.
And what exactly is he going to do? In fact, besides the Bible, where's your evidence that he even exists?
I could only kill your flesh. Not interested. Waste of time.
You should choose your words a little more carefully, Daniel. Now, I know you're not actually threatening anyone, but does the algorithm? You've already had loads of channels shut down already. We don't want you losing another one because you're a fucking moron when it comes to verbal communication, especially because no matter what causes it, you're going to say that they're trying to stop you from talking about flat Earth.
He will kill your flesh and your soul, lest ye repent, grow a spine, stop being epic cowards, and start speaking the truth of where we live, regardless the consequences.
Sorry, but where does the Bible say that you must believe in a flat Earth? And considering that the Bible was written very long ago by men that did not have the understanding as well as the technology that we have today, wouldn't it be safe to say that even if God is real, parts of the Bible can be wrong? Especially since there's so many contradictions in it, it's ridiculous. Not to mention that many parts get lost in translation. I would say that if God punished you for believing the evidence that we have collected with the tools and abilities that I guess he would be responsible for us having, instead of believing how the people of the past viewed the world, that would make him a bit of a dick.
Why? Once again, because it exposes all of the divisive scams you love to babble on about.
What scams, Dan? I mean, it's been a while since I last dealt with you, and I've honestly forgotten what your stance is on most conspiracy theories. I guess you're talking about things like the moon landing and maybe traveling to space in general. Like most flirts, you have to dive right into every rabbit hole that comes up, as long as it's something that makes the government and often as well as the scientific community seem like liars. But again, you can test the shape of the Earth for yourself, or just stop denying all of the evidence that's been provided to you. Fucking idiot.
So, the choice is yours. Speak the truth or pay the ultimate price.
Well, which one do you want us to do, Dan? Speak the truth or lie and say that the Earth is flat so we can get into heaven?
I pray you make the right choice.
And if I still prayed, it would be that you'd pull your head out of your fucking ass, get yourself educated, and stop believing in a load of utter bollocks.
It's all coming to a head. There's nothing to save now. All the money you made will never buy back your soul.
I can only speak for myself, but to be fair, I haven't made a hell of a lot. But it's not really about that. Sure, I very much want this to become my full-time career, as I'm already working it full-time. But I honestly never expected to make money from this when I first started my channel. I started it because I was sick of the misinformation that you absolute pillocks continue to spread.
You better recognize.
Interesting way to end your video, mate, considering that you lot couldn't recognise reality if it was sending a swift uppercut to your fucking nutsack. Another pointless video filled with a fucking truckload of bullshit from our friendly neighbourhood Pratt. Well, maybe not that friendly. Cheers for sticking with me until the end of the video. Please do check out my social media links in the description and consider supporting the channel through Patreon, PayPal, the new super thanks button down below the video, or by becoming a channel member. Your support is always greatly appreciated. As always, I've been the Triggered Limey, and I'll catch you beautiful bastards on the next one.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout, and fame.